What's up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be talking about real passive income. Now, there's a reason that I put real in front of the words passive income. But the best part about today's video is I have a guest with me, my friend and fellow YouTuber, Sam Miller, who is a travel vlogger, an adventurer, and an expert in real estate crowdfunding. Before I get into that definition, YouTube, the platform you're watching right now, is a passive income monster. And if you haven't already checked it out, we have a brand new masterclass about the 4-step framework on how to build a wildly profitable YouTube channel and make passive income for your business. So go ahead and check out that masterclass. It'll be the first link in the description. So as I mentioned, Sam is an expert with real estate crowdfunding, and crowdfunding is basically you would be the investor and you would invest into a property. It could be an apartment, it could be an entire building, it doesn't really matter. But the cool thing about crowdfunding is you don't have to invest in the entire cost of the property. You would basically make an initial investment, and it depends on the company how much you would invest, but anywhere from $1,000 up to $10,000. And then once you invest, you become a shareholder in that property, and all of the residual income that is generated from that property goes directly into your pocket. And that is exactly why it's called real passive income.
And this is an example, Villa del Peñón. We finished it 2 months ago, and already it's generating passive rental income for the investors.
Sam is a partner with Life Afar, which is a company who has short and long-term luxury furnished rentals here in Medellin, Colombia, in the major cities in Colombia, and also in Portugal. So if you want to connect with Sam, please subscribe to his channel. I'll have all his resources in the links in the description. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
Thanks for having me on, Marissa. You've asked me, what is long-term passive income? Your audience seems to be very interested in developing businesses, systems that are generating passive income online. And I think that is brilliant. I want to quickly catch you up with the cash flow quadrant. This is an idea that has been developed by Robert Kiyosaki in order to understand what are all of the different income streams that are available to us as a unit in an economy. And I'll put it up on the screen so you can see a bit better. But basically, that is the cash flow quadrant right here. We have employees, right? You have a job. S is when you move into self-employment. This is when you become a specialist. This is when as a dentist or a doctor, right, you're starting to operate your job as a business, and you become self-employed. The next step would be B, which is business. Now this is traditionally big business. This is when we're investing large amounts of capital in businesses that are generating money for us, generating systems that are going to be generating income long term. We're no longer exchanging 1 unit of time for 1 unit of money, right? So this is a great step to be taking. This is a great category of income to be in, to be building, to be accumulating. So you can actually have a foot in each one of these. But the idea is move over to this side where you're starting to build businesses. And when you get to the point that you have accumulated cash and you're looking for places to put your cash to work, that's when you're looking for this type of income stream. Now, these are investments. These are investments that are generating cash for you from the initial investment. So that could be dividend stocks, ETFs, right? Could be real estate investments. And if you guys are wondering where my bias lies in all of this, my name is Sam Miller. I'm a vlogger and a partner at Life Afar. We crowdfund and develop large-scale short-term rental properties and generating income returns for the investor, right? So we actually sell investments. Now, to get to that point, you do need excess cash from about $25,000 and $50,000, depending on the project. But that's not the only type of investment. So where your awareness goes, energy flows. And as we know, money is energy. So be very conscious of as you are building these businesses and the systems like the ones that Marissa is teaching and sharing. You're being very conscious of what type of cash flow are you bringing into your life. What type of long-term commitment are you committing to here? How passive is what you're doing going to be? And is it going to be passive for a short amount of time or a long amount of time? Is it going to require a heavy investment of time and energy in the beginning, and then it's going to generate passive income long term? Or is it going to require a large amount of money in the beginning, but very little of your time and energy? So let's move on from that. But if you want to go deeper into that, check out Cashflow Quadrant on YouTube. By investing and developing businesses and investments, we're moving towards a life of financial freedom and financial security. Right now, as I'm sure many of you are already aware, it costs very little to nothing to start moving out of the employed and self-employed arena in towards creating businesses and systems and even investing. You can now invest for very, very small amounts of money using things like M1 Finance, using things like Robinhood. You can invest in dividend stocks, ETFs, and bonds that are going to start generating smaller amounts, right? Usually it's 2, 3, 4% if you're talking dividend stocks. But you also got your stock that's growing in value. So that's a really good start to start being aware of how you're accumulating your income flows. Even if it's small, you are consciously aware that this is where you want to be putting part of the income that you're generating as you're building a business that is going to allow you to put more money into investments, which is the golden goose, right? That's when you're putting money into properties that are just generating that passive income for you, so you'll be able to go out and travel where you wish. So let's look at some of the common models of businesses that are out there right now and that are being shared by Marissa, and that's a great thing to be building here. This is where we're starting a YouTube channel. This is where we're starting a blog, and we're offering affiliate products, or we're creating our own products, and we're offering coaching or consulting or courses, right? We're beginning to develop systems that will operate without us. We're starting to hire people to do this. We're starting to make investments that are going to separate our time from the income equation. Affiliate marketing is great, right? Because you're not spending weeks developing your own product. You're looking at products that already exist, that already serve needs. Ideally, you're looking for products that are long-term valuable. Now, TikTok right now is booming. A lot of marketers are rushing into TikTok, and I'm sure a lot of them would love to have an ebook or a course that will show them, how to monetize TikTok or how to build a sales funnel in TikTok. So your options right now, and understanding this quadrant, right? Your options may be, well, listen, I'm going to coach people one-on-one to develop their business on TikTok, and you're going to trade an hour of your time to teach them for an hour. Okay, now that's great. But maybe when you become aware of the different types of cash flow, and when you're aware that these are the types of cash flow that are going to be delivering you that financial freedom, you might look and think, well, what if I can create an ebook? What if I can create a course? Here's something else to consider. How long is TikTok? How long will this product be in need? Right? So when we're talking passive income online, that's where I feel like we could have a lot more clarification, because a lot of these tickets to the Willy Wonka factory and like, hey, this is the passive, this will teach you how to generate passive income. Sure, that course, that coaching program where you have, a systemized operation of people teaching people how to develop their business on TikTok is great. But for how long will that be passive? How long will that need exist? We've seen a lot of social media platforms come and go. It might stick around, maybe it'll pay off, and in 10, 20 years, this will still be here. But when we're looking at long-term systems, keep that in mind. Online, our attention is so fickle. These institutions are created and destroyed by wherever our attention goes. So keep in mind, how to make a home garden. That might be something that's relevant forever, right? It's more of an evergreen niche, an evergreen product, and you'll have ebbs and flows. Right now, when everyone's in quarantine, how much time are you going to take to build this business? And I want to share with you a potentially very valuable tip for you guys right now. If you're in the business of creating an ebook, or creating a course, or creating blogs that will allow you to create systems that generate cash flow for you, you don't need to start from scratch. If you come from the perspective of, if you've been doing this, if you have cash, you can find a blog right now that's for sale, that's in your niche, that's already generating and ranking in Google, right? So maybe look at, okay, what blogs in the niche that I want to hit are already made, right? That's starting to think a lot more from this perspective first, as opposed to, okay, I'm going to start a blog and write 20 articles, and over the next year or two, I'm going to start ranking, and I'm going to have this business. And this would be it right here. If you're writing a blog and doing that work yourself, and you're building that business yourself, right? But if you start thinking like, okay, I'm separating my time from money here. How much is my time and money worth? You're thinking, what blogs are out there that I can buy? And there's a range of websites that offer blogs for sale. You could do the same thing with a course. Ebooks are for sale right now. If you're looking like, oh, I've got to write an ebook for a lead magnet for my sales funnel, there's ebooks for sale right now. You can approach authors and buy their ebook, improve it, make it better, or even buy their ebook, because you think it's great, but they're not doing the marketing, and then you're buying Amazon Facebook ads, right? Amazon listing ads, and you're ranking in the top parts of Amazon, and you're starting to generate. You're starting to create a system that's generating cash flow, that's building a business for you, right? And once you have that optimized, the amount of time the amount of time that you're investing to generate that income goes down and down. I hope those are some ideas that will get your juices flowing, right? And once you have an accumulation of cash, and you're looking, okay, what do I do with my cash? And if you read The Richest Man in Babylon, that's a great, introductory financial mindset book. And I believe that suggestion is about 10% per month. Maybe you want to go 10 or 20% of income that you're generating every month as you're working in these areas. You're putting 10 to 20% in this arena right here. And you can do that from $50, $100, even if it is only $100 a month, you're going to you're going to see the incredible benefits of this after you've been doing this for 5, 10, 20 years, right? The results, the ROI in this field get exponential. Now, with real estate, if you're buying in the US, there's ways to leverage your market. At Life Afar, which is the type of investments that I mentioned earlier, we're basically packaging the search of a property that's appropriate for the short-term rental market that we know can get a great return on Airbnb. We're packaging the purchase of it, right? The actual time that you would need to go through the actual purchasing process. So you're able to basically piece together a piece of real estate that will start generating long-term passive income, and we've narrowed it down to a couple of documents, and that's really what we're about and what we've been creating. So part of my job is getting out and showing what we're doing, as well as inviting people to come and visit these places. We're located in Bogota, Medellin, Cali, Cartagena, in Old San Juan and Puerto Rico, as well as Porto in Portugal. You'll find that the people who are taking advantage of the systems and the ideas that are available on the internet today are embracing the unknown. There is a sudden sense of fear that keeps us trapped here. And it is usually the fear of the unknown. It is a fear of, well, I don't know how, I don't know what, right? And people like Marissa are people who have crossed these lines and started generating businesses and investments that are, and then sharing how they did it. And I think that's brilliant. So I thank you, Marissa, for doing what you do and sharing that there are so many opportunities out there for us. No matter what job we're in, there are systems, there are ways that we can start moving towards this place of financial freedom. And it begins by acknowledging that maybe you have a fear of what you need to do, a fear of, well, I don't know how to make a blog, I don't know how to do this. Trust me, we are in the age of abundance. We are not in the industrial age anymore. We are in the age of information. All of the information is there, and you won't be able to see that, all of that information, until you take that first step. And then you get to a place and you're like, I don't know what to do. And you can type exactly what you don't know what to do into Google, and someone will tell you exactly what to do and show you the step-by-step process of how to do it. So have faith that there is information, there is abundant information in the unknown to take you to where you want to go. This is an extremely valuable perspective and awareness to have. Every day you're working on something, you're working on building income in one of these areas. Make sure that you start moving towards this direction so that in the long term you're generating that financial freedom, right? And it starts with awareness. Where your awareness is, the energy will follow. Hope that's been helpful. If you'd like to follow my journey as I document what we're doing at Life Afar, I'm showing both the real estate investment side as well as the travel side, things to do, different aspects of the culture and the demographics of what's happening as this next generation of location independent workers travel around the world. Right now, we've been forced into a lockdown, into a quarantine, and so many businesses have now been forced to advance to the next stage of our civilization, which is allowing and enabling people to work remotely. How many years will it be when somebody who is now working from home, how long will it be before they realize that they could be working from a place like Medellin, Colombia, for 30-50% of the cost of living, and living 3 times as much, going out for dinner, enjoying life to a much higher level than they might be at home. Their rent is going to be cheaper, their cost of living is going to be cheaper, and they're going to be getting a lot more bang for their buck. How long will it take this current generation that is now currently working from home? How long is it going to be before they realize that they can now travel the world and produce online, right? Whether they're working for a business, whether they're creating a system which is generating money, right? All these new freelancers who are now trading 1 hour of, or they're trading a certain unit of money for a certain article. How long will it be before they realize, well, I have this, I'm able to serve these different companies with this article, but what if I pay someone, I start developing a system as opposed to more of a self-employed mindset? What if I start paying people to write this article for me? And I can start reaching out to businesses and have a team of writers that are helping me create these articles. Right? So then you're becoming aware that, okay, what I'm developing now is a system that's generating cash flow. I'm escaping the self-employed system of cash flow, right? And you start leveraging your time. You start finding more financial freedom and more financial security. So become aware of these different ways to make money, and I wish you all the best on your journey. Marissa, thanks a lot for having me on. Again, if you'd like to check out my YouTube channel, it's Sam Life Afar. I'm sure there'll be a link in the description. Yeah, all the best. I hope to see you guys in the next one.
Sam, thank you so much. That was absolutely phenomenal, every minute of that video. If you guys got major value from Sam, go ahead and subscribe to his channel. All of his resources to connect will be in the links in the description. Thank you so much again, Sam, for joining in on this video today. So one key takeaway that he mentioned that really stuck with me and I wanted to kind of highlight again and reinforce is Sam mentioned this book right here called The Richest Man in Babylon. Now, this book is really important for just an introduction and for general wealth building in your lives. And they definitely go over passive income in this book. But there's a lot of key takeaways and principles that from this book that I got that I'll summarize for you right now. Because basically, if you're not practicing the good money habits in this book, in your life now, passive income doesn't really work. So let's go over this. And the first takeaway that you're going to get from The Richest Man in Babylon is that you need to pay yourself first, minimum 10% of your income every single month, no matter what. And the reason that is so important is because we think often that we own our money, but we really don't. And for example, if we're making, let's say, $2,000 a month, and half of that is going to $1,000 in rent, half of what we're working for is to pay our landlord, and we don't have the reward to actually keep the money. The money is just touching the bank account and going. It's really not our money. And so saving is a habit, definitely a habit of the rich, so that you could invest that money later, but definitely get into that good money habit of no matter what, keep 10% of what you earn. All right, so the second key takeaway that you'll find in The Rich Man of Babylon is that men of action always win with the goddess of luck. So in simple terms, those who take action have the most luck. And so think of it this way. There's a difference between entrepreneurs and those that want to be in business and be profitable and entrepreneurs. Now, what I say is that going 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction is much better than doing absolutely nothing. Because at least when you're going and doing, you're learning and taking away those lessons learned, even if it's in the wrong direction. Now, knowingly doing it, don't do that, right? But you want to at least take that step forward every single day. I mean, when I tell people my story, people know that my first year, little over a year in business, was a complete failure. I had no clue what I was doing. I was bouncing around from different business models, and I definitely wasn't profitable at all. But I have that knowledge and experience from failing that I would have never gotten if I would have been scared to just do it. And so being rich and acquiring wealth has nothing to do with luck, but everything to do with action. The other misconception is that people sometimes are just inherited into money, or they just get lucky and just with luck climb their way up the wealth ladder. I mean, there's very small instances where people inherit tons of wealth. I mean, it happens, but 99% of the time, you have to just take action. The third takeaway that we see in The Richest Man in Babylon is that wealth is not a matter of income. So we can all earn the same amount of money, but that does not mean that we all have the same amount of money in our bank account. So this is all about controlling our expenses. As our income goes up, our fixed costs should not go up with it. So if we're making $100,000 a year, but we're spending $95,000, we're really just having $5,000 to our name every single year because our expenses are so high. We're adding that new car, the new boat, we're adding all those new things that we get excited to buy when we get an increase in our paycheck. But no, we have to live well within our means and control our expenses and really figure out what is a want and a true necessity. The fourth takeaway that we get from The Richest Man in Babylon, and that is what this video is all about, is passive income. So once you have that pot of money where you've been saving and that you could finally invest it in something that is going to work for you. So passive income is kind of like modern day slavery in the sense of money working for you and growing exponentially. The book says that we want money to be our slaves and work for us while we're at the gym, while we sleep. And the only way to make passive income really work for us and to make our money work for us, that comes in at principle number 5, and that is to make educated and knowledgeable investments. So Sam alluded to this several times, and that is you have to be knowledgeable of where you are putting your money. Don't just put your money into something because it's the new craze. For example, in 2018, when Bitcoin was the whole craze and everyone was going crazy about Bitcoin and, I need to put, my money into cryptocurrency now while it's hot. I mean, that's cool and all, but for me, for example, I put some money into Bitcoin, but I had no clue what was going on. I had no clue really anything about cryptocurrencies. But on the flip side, I know a lot about YouTube, SEO, building sales funnels, building online courses, marketing affiliate products, and receiving commissions. So between Bitcoin and building my own business, what is the best thing to put my time and my money? Obviously, where I know my business like the back of my hand and I'm so confident in what I'm doing, that's where I'm going to put my money. I'm not going to put it with Bitcoin, which I cannot control at all, ever. So yes, check out this book if you haven't. It's a good book. It really is a great book for money principles. I hope you guys are getting major value from this video. Again, check out Sam's resources in the links in the description. I thank him so much for coming on to this video. And if you've made it this far, I highly invite you to check out the new masterclass, which is about my 4-step framework into making a YouTube channel a wildly profitable business, which has everything to do with passive income. And you could enroll and register for that masterclass right down here. All right, so we'll see you there.